Hi guys, it is February the 23rd, 2012. You know what, I could be wrong. Anyway, about 5:49 p.m. Central Time. I thought it was about time to give an update. It's been a while since I've posted one. I'm sorry for the length of time it's been in between updates. I've just been going through the ringer with these post-surgery complications that I've been having. If you've seen my previous videos, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned in detail, you know, what's going on up to this point. I had a revision surgery in November to the duodenal switch, and scar tissue formed, and about a month after that, I had to get a feeding tube placed because I was unable to get food down. I had my first feeding tube placed on December 30th, and they sent me home, and everything was coming out the incision site that we were trying to put in through the feeding tube. So we paged the doctor and once again told them that everything was coming out, and they said come back the next day, and I had to go back in the OR again on December 31st and have another feeding tube placed. So I'm actually right now on feeding tube number 3 because on Sunday night, the 19th, I went to take some medicine and everything was just gushing out and I didn't know what was going on, so I took my bandage off and the feeding tube just fell out. So I had to go to the ER and meet the doctor and get another feeding tube placed. At this point, let me see. Well, I kind of wrote down, you know, try to sum it all up so that I would not go on too long and ramble on this blog update. But at this point, I've had 4 EGDs with dilation. The last one was with a specialist, a gastroenterologist that my surgeon had referred me to, and he did steroid injections into the scar tissue, which was supposed to minimize the swelling. He bragged that he's never had anybody have to come back and see him after he's done that. So I had a lot of hope that it was going to fix me, which it didn't. I have another one, another procedure, EGD with dilation scheduled for this Saturday with him. And I'm not very hopeful. I'm hoping it'll get better, but at this point I've had 4 dilations and none of them have seemed to really improve me much. Since December 30th, I've had 2 overnight hospitalizations. The first one was December 31st when I had the second feeding tube placed because I was still in a lot of pain from the surgery the previous day and the amount of gas pain basically that had settled behind my shoulders. So the doctor wanted to just go ahead and keep me and control my pain. And I've had the 2 different stints in the OR since 12/30, 6 ER visits, the 4 procedures, which were the EGDs, and numerous office visits. I just found out I am eligible again for FMLA, which is great because I just this week got written up at work for my attendance because of this issue, and I've never been in trouble at work, so it's really stressed me out a lot. Really, at this point, if the EGD on Saturday doesn't work, we're looking at 2 options. The doctor offered me the option A, which would be, please ignore the dogs barking in the background, which would be to do a revision of that area. The stricture is at basically where my esophagus and anastomosis are connected, and basically go in there and cut out that scar tissue and hope more scar tissue doesn't form in its place. Or B, to have a stent placed. And after consulting with the gastroenterologist, the stent does not sound like the favorable option of the 2. Sounds a lot more extreme and not like something I want to do, but really, at this point, I'm almost willing to do anything. At night, I have to be hooked up to the feeding tube. I can't do the feedings throughout the day and just inject them with the syringe because it makes me nauseous. I have to be hooked up to this thing with the IV bag and the pole and whatnot to give me my feedings. It's very good that I have someone who loves me enough to make my feedings for me, because I've given up on it completely. The other day I was talking about going on a hunger strike and not drinking anything, not taking anything through the feeding tube, etc., because I wanted the doctors to do something. But I realized quickly how stupid that was. It wasn't going to get me anywhere. I've also been dealing with a lot of dizziness and nausea since the surgery in November, so that's something else. I can get liquids down, but I can't really do protein shakes because the smell of it makes me nauseous. So pretty much all my nutrition does come from the feeding tube. At this point, I have lost 46 pounds to date since November 28th, so that's great. I was asked by a friend earlier, would I do it again? Would I have the revision to the duodenal switch again? And being a weight loss surgery veteran, having had the gastric bypass for 3 years and all the complications that I had with that, I know that sometimes it's going to get worse before it's going to get better. And you've got to think about, you know, there's pros and cons to every situation. At this point, I would do it again. Now, ask me tomorrow, I might not be feeling it, and I might say, no, I'm stupid, I should have done it. But at this point, I've lost 46 pounds. I may not be living an optimal life right now with the feeding tube and the feedings, and it's really stressful, but I'm still fortunate to be alive, to have my health, to have my strength, to have my insurance and my job. So I'm hoping that they'll get me fixed as soon as possible, and I'll keep you updated. On my next update, I'll let you know if I still think that I would do this again, given a chance. So, you guys have a great night.